My second challenge was a bust. Hey everyone, so we made it to the Dominican Republic. Now, something you may not know about me is that I actually have a degree in Spanish. However, I've never lived or studied in a Spanish-speaking country. So my challenge for this vacation is to try to use Spanish and speak with native speakers and to let you know how it goes. So today we're gonna go out for dinner and I'm gonna try my best to speak in Spanish. Join me, let's see how it goes. So I just did my first challenge, which was to tell the hostess that we had a reservation at 8:30. It went pretty well. The only thing that stumped me was when she asked me what room we were in, and I totally forgot how to say 3202, but I was able to go through with it without any problems, and so now we're waiting for our table. So first challenge, I guess, was a success. My second challenge was a bust. The hostess was taking to our seats, and on the way she sat us at the hibachi area, which I did not want to have for dinner. And the whole situation just surprised me, and I almost forgot my words. And I tried to explain to her that I didn't want hibachi, and I kept saying the word ceviche instead of hibachi. In the end, we did resolve it, but I got flustered for a while and my words just were stuck in my mouth. And I think that happens to a lot of you all, that you know the language, but when something catches you off guard or you get surprised, you sometimes forget your language. Well, it happened to me too. So it's our second morning here in the Dominican Republic, and we had a great night last night. We had dinner, we enjoyed the nightlife, went to bed super late, so we're waking up a little bit later today. But I thought I'd sit down and review a little bit about why we're here and what we're doing here. I thought about it, and one of the things that I've noticed with my students is that although they know English and they know English very well, I often ask them, who did you speak with in English over the weekend? And 9 times out of 10, they haven't spoken to anyone in English. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to talk the talk, I need to walk the walk, and I need to experience what it feels like for my students. And so I thought, while I'm in the Dominican Republic, let me try to put myself out there and use Spanish. I think at this point, my level of Spanish is maybe a pre-intermediate level, so it's quite low. I make a lot of mistakes. I feel the same things that you feel. I feel very nervous. I have a lot of anxiety before I need to speak. But really, this is not a question about your level. When you have difficulty speaking a language, it's mostly about your fear of the unknown, your fear of embarrassing yourself, your self-consciousness. So I want to go through that, and I want to experience it so I can help you really challenge yourself to step outside the box and speak English. Sí. Oh, gracias.
¿De qué la salsa, mi jefa?
Picante.
Sí.
Y pico de gallo. Mucho, mucho. Gracias. Y aguacate, por favor. So my husband and I have been to this resort, I think 4 times before or 3 times before. We love this place. And they have a rewards program, so we wanted to add our rewards number to our reservations in the past to try to see if we could add some points. And it was interesting because my husband first asked some workers in English, and because it was a complicated situation, they didn't understand. Now, I didn't know all the words I wanted to use, but I was able to explain it in kind of simpler terms. And so that made it a lot easier. And they were able to understand, and I was able to repeat it. And afterwards, you know, I went back and forth and I realized I didn't use perfect grammar, and I thought about the words I could have used instead. But at the end of the day, I think you need to remember that the point is to communicate. And as long as the message gets understood, that's the main point. So was it perfect Spanish? Did I do a perfect job? Could I have done better? Sure. But I think I'm proud of myself and what I've done so far in that conversation.
Creo que lo hiciste muy bien. Hubo un momento, sí, en que tuviste que pensar un poco las palabras, pero está bien porque estás aprendiendo. Y otro momento que dijiste una palabra mal, pero lo retrataste y lo corregiste. O sea, que solamente hay que seguir practicando las palabras en español, y que siempre que habla con una persona que habla el idioma, pues que le hables desde el principio, pues que le hables español, y así ya vas a ir perfeccionando.
Have you seen any gym that has waterfalls leading to it? Only in Punta Cana. Trying to get an early morning workout. And I just think this is a great opportunity to think about all the different ways that you can practice your English when you're on vacation. For example, here they have a trainer. His name is Sexy Patrick, who comes and he helps you to do your exercises. He's actually helping someone right now, and he can help you to practice, you know, names of the body parts, and you know, las piernas, those are legs. So it was a great way to just practice unexpected vocabulary in a different way. So, you know, my tip here is just really to find every opportunity that you can to practice your English. You know, you may not think that you can get practice with your English while at the gym, but Sexy Patrick is a great example of how you can do so. Sí. Un plátano o banana? Banana, okay.
Partir banana,
Mhm.
agua fría,
Okay. Helado? Hielo?
agua helada, no
Okay.
hielo, agua fría.
Okay.
La medida
Mhm.
hasta aquí.
Okay.
Entonces,
¿Cómo se dice protein en español?
proteína.
Proteína.
It's the same, just putting a at the end.
Okay. Proteína.
Listo. Over the blender.
Es vanilla. El sabor es vanilla,
Vainilla,
¿no?
vainilla,
Vanilla.
sabor de vainilla. Y le haces esto.
Patrick,
Ay, sorry.
lo siento. ¿Podemos usar una botella shake bottle?
Una botella, sí.
Sí, ok. No necesitamos un blender.
Una botella.
Una botella
Pero
está bien.
para banana tenéis que tener blender.
Ok. Si hay banana,
Sí,
necesitamos un
también
blender.
puede ser con papaya.
Ah, papaya, wow.
Puede ser también con mango. También puede ser con cualquier otra cosa.
Okay.
Papaya, mango, banana,
¿Fresas?
fresa también.
Okay.
Ahora master just over.
We're having a little bit of a slow start to the day. We started by doing some work, and although I was by myself, it was a great opportunity to still practice my listening. I think sometimes when we're learning a language, we forget how important listening is to being able to speak. And I was sitting by myself doing work, but right next to me there was a group where someone was trying to sell a timeshare, a travel package to a family or a group. And it was a great way for me to learn some important vocabulary, hear some inside jokes, and I really actually started taking notes of words I didn't know so I could review them later. So that was a really good experience. Another thing I noticed is while we've only been here 3 days, I'm starting to get more confident in my Spanish. And while I may not know every single word, I think one thing that's really cool is that I'm trying to use what I do know to explain new things. So for example, I didn't know what the word for ATM machine was, and I explained it as la máquina para el dinero, which is the machine for the money, and the man understood me. Once again, I think it's really about communication and trying your best to explain things with the vocabulary you do already know. Anyway, I'm off to the pool to get a little bit of a tan, and I'll update you later.
Tengo una pregunta. ¿Es posible, hay una posibilidad para cerrar esta sobre, what is this called? Sí, eso. Yeah. Pero en mitad, no completamente.
No.
No.
Es o abierto o completamente cerrado.
Ah, okay. Abiertos. Okay. Gracias.
No hay medio.
Sí, okay.
So you probably noticed that I totally screwed that conversation up. I was trying to ask the waiter if it were possible to close the umbrella, and I forgot the word for umbrella. And it's a word I know, but I completely forgot in the moment. And instead I used gestures, and I pointed and I said that. And he understood. And yes, gestures and facial expressions can definitely help when you're making communication, especially when the person understands you're not a native speaker. So don't be afraid to challenge yourself to point and use gestures to help communicate. And then afterwards, you can go back and look that word up. So definitely it is something that's a learning moment. I'm going to go back to my room and make sure that I remember the word paraguas or sombría for umbrella. And I definitely am now going to enjoy my strawberry daiquiri. While I've had lots of these different challenges, it's been really great, and I've been really proud of myself. Have I improved in my Spanish? Probably not, but what I have improved in is my confidence. The more that you try, the more confident you'll be. And in the end, because I was more confident, I was able to try new challenges for myself with the language. Now I will review the things that I should have said or the words I could have used, and that's a learning moment. So I think we need to take every opportunity that we speak as an opportunity to try something new, to take a risk, but also to review what we've done and think about what we can do the next time. I think it's always good to see what more you can do or what you can learn from these experiences.